This is really also an update on our gearing up for work at the Latin America Caribbean Solidarity Committee based at the International Action Center. In addition to the working on the delegation to Honduras, we're also involved in the Chile event. And just before I talk about the delegation, mention another event, which is Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is going to be in New York City for the General Assembly meetings at the UN, and he's going to be speaking publicly to the movement on Thursday, September 26th. We're not quite sure of the venue yet. We're not quite sure of the time, but we are accumulating names of comrades and friends and activists you might know who would want to attend this most important meeting. So we're asking that if you want to go, or you know anyone else who'd like to go, give your name or those names to Teresa by Tuesday, September 17th. And she's working on really organizing the meeting with the Venezuelans, so it'll be a very, very exciting event. So, Honduras. Right now the world is focused on Syria for good reason, but in a little more than 2 months, at least on Sunday, November 24th, 2013, I'm certain the world will be focused on Honduras, where there will be an election held for president. And the candidate who we've been watching for years, Xiomara Castro de Zelaya, she's running for president. She's running on a platform of many, many progressive issues, including calling for socialism, socialismo in Honduras, and really delegations are coming from all over the world, and particularly from North America. And the International Action Center is going to be sending a delegation to take part not only in solidarity, but firsthand observations of the election going on, and this will be our third delegation to Honduras. The first one, I think, was, and some other folks here have been on them. I know Heather, Teresa, myself, Mike Gimbel. The first one was soon after the coup, where we demanded the right to visit President Jose Manuel Zelaya, who was holed up, if you will, in the Brazilian embassy in Tegucigalpa. We were prevented from visiting him, but we did organize a spontaneous demonstration that rocked Tegucigalpa, and also brought out the army and national police and everything. That's a whole other story. But folks in Honduras know us. We made a second trip with our compañera Lucy Paguada. So this will be our third trip, and we're really so excited to take part in it. We've already done a fundraising, and I think it was about a 1,700-piece first-class mail fundraising. So pretty soon, some of the donations we're looking for will be coming in. And if anybody here, we have actually 3 envelopes. They're already got stamps on them. All you have to do is address them. If there's anybody here who would, has some kind of rich relative or old rich schoolmate who'd like to drop some money into us, you could have one. But we're also doing another type of fundraiser on October the 19th, which is a Saturday, right here at the International Action Center. Marina from the May 1st Coalition is organizing a fundraiser for the delegation. And among the activities at that fundraiser, she is a Guatemalteca, and she will be playing the marimba, which is the national instrument of Guatemala, kind of like a xylophone, except the keys are made out of wood. And that's kind of exciting. I'm not sure. It's in formation, but it'll be a great evening or late afternoon. So the delegation moves forward. We've had preliminary discussions with Honduran activists in Chicago who work around an organization called, let me just get that, La Voz de los de Abajo. And they are great. We've met them before. Our delegations have met them before. They most recently have organized a trip to Honduras, solidarity trip of teachers from Chicago. And we know we followed the teachers' strike and actions recently, and so they are extremely active. And our delegation, right now the plans are for us to kind of jointly work with them. And we'll be going down a few days before the election and returning a few days after the election. And I mean, it's just going to be amazing there in Honduras. Historic change is on the horizon. We hope this change will begin taking place on November 24th. If for some reason it doesn't, we know that sometime soon after. You can't stop the tidal wave of the Honduran people. They've organized themselves into a broad coalition, Frente Nacional de Resistencia Popular, organizations of students, unorganized workers, workers in unions, the LGBTQ community, seniors, religious people, Catholic, Pentecostal. I mean, we've met them, it is a broad coalition, and they are on the move. They are supporting the candidate of the Libre Party, Xiomara Castro de Zelaya, and we are, once again, very excited about this trip. But there are also a lot of forces there and players that we're going to be forced to interact with one way or the other, politically, on the streets, whatever. We know there are the so-called the five families that up till now and even today run the country, and they don't want to give it up. And they are not just the five families, but they have this whole network throughout the country, and they are the ruling class of Honduras. We know, besides our comrades, there's also the U.S. State Department, and they get their orders, from the Obama administration. We know, of course, there's going to be thousands of solidarity activists from not only North America, but Latin America. There's going to be the Jimmy Carter. We're watching to see if the vote is held to standards people. They usually come in the hundreds. There's going to be the OAS, the UN, the corporate media, the alternative media. And last, of course, there'll be the Pentagon. And the Pentagon, as we've written about and talked about, actually has a base in Honduras, the Soto Cano Air Base. Recently, they were gearing up for the election in a kind of a bizarre exercise they held with the Honduran army. U.S. soldiers put on civilian clothes, went outside the gates of the base, holding signs like "Gringo, go home," and made noise. And then a fake bomb went off, and then the Honduran army entered the fray, and they saw if they could, evacuate casualties and all that. So it just means that they know this election is coming, and they're getting ready for it. We're getting ready for it. And just lastly, the day of the election, once again, Sunday, November 24th, This is great. The Solidarity Center and the IAC will be hosting the Honduran community who wants to come and watch the elections in a collective way. And that'll be very exciting. We've just started trying to figure out not so much the logistics, but the technical things we have to do. We're going to check and see if Telesur will be covering the election. They probably will be, and if they are, it'll be 24/7 coverage. So we would probably pick up the stream and then broadcast it, and hopefully it'll be, a great celebration. So that's it. Anybody interested in going on the delegation, see me, see Teresa. We could talk to you about fundraising, and that's it. So, on to Honduras.